Anyway, we go to the NBA right now around the association. Big matchup tonight out in the Mile High City. The New York Knicks on a 4-game win streak on the road in Denver, but it's hard to beat the Nugs at altitude. 9.5-point spread in favor of Denver. Smaller total, just 207.5.
Yeah, and there's a reason being because we're still waiting on the Knicks to come back. We thought we'd get OG Anunoby back, and now it's like, okay, going to need some more time at this point. So it's no surprise to me that this line roughly is double digits currently at the FanDuel Sportsbook and at 207.5. The one thing we do know is if Denver gets you down, they're not going to look to run and pick that pace up. They'll slow it down and be even more efficient. I actually like the under 207.5 in this game, but if I had to bet, it's one of those things yesterday. We thought that the Bucks could keep it close with the Celtics, and they did. I don't know if the Knicks can keep it close here on the road with the Nuggets shorthanded. So I think Denver Nuggets win this game going away, but also I think I like the total to the under, even though how low it is at 207.5. I think they like that there a little bit better than the side itself.
The Knicks have won 4 straight games. They have covered in 3 of the 4 with 1 push in the mix. Booked as a dog without OG Anunoby the other night. But when OG Anunoby has been in the lineup since he was acquired in early January, the Knicks have been great. Oh, by the way, they've played 30 games in 2024 in this calendar year. They have gone under in 23 of 30. Denver at home this year, as you would expect, very good. 27-6 straight up. Booked as the home favorite in 32 of those 33 games in the Mile High City, but just 15, 16, and 1 against the numbers. Speaking of good teams covering numbers, that is the Orlando Magic, the best covered team in all of the NBA. Now 46 and 23 ATS. Orlando is the only team in the association covering in more than 60% of their games. It's a 66.7% clip. Orlando at home tonight against the New Orleans Pelicans. Interesting game for both clubs in terms of their postseason positioning. New Orleans has won a bunch of games in a row, and they're actually laying 3, an updated number from 2.5. 3 points in favor of the Pels, even on the road against the best covered team in the NBA.
And the overnight number here was a -1 point favorite for the Pelicans, and it's now risen to 3 points here at the FanDuel Sportsbook. But how about this? An overnight number of 211 on the total, which is already low, dropped to 207 here. We don't have any major signs of any superstar players sitting out, but this also lets you know, you take a look at the match, they don't want to push you with all that much pace. They'll play some defense here, but as Ben said, they are number 1, very good home team, number 2, very good cover team. So I do appreciate that line went from -1 to -3, and quite frankly, probably a heavy public side is still going to be the Pelicans, but be weary of those Magic at home. I'll fall into the trap. I'll go with the public side on the Pelicans. I just think they're more talented, but it wouldn't be surprising if the Magic actually win. It's what they do in this spot.
Orlando has won 4 straight games. They are 22-19 against the spread as an underdog this year. The Magic, by the way, speaking of that total DRS, under in 10 of their last 13. Yeah. The Pels under in 5 of their last 6. They have won 3 straight. 7 of their last 8. New Orleans booked as a favorite in all 7 of those victories. They have covered in all 7 of those wins as well. A play-in looking game for a Houston Rockets team that's making things interesting out west. The Rockets have won 3 straight. They lay 3.5 at home today against Chicago. The Bulls pretty firmly into that 9 spot in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, you know what? Trusting the line, right? Screaming, you better take the Bulls here. I can't believe the Bulls are getting points here. I'm going to go with the Houston Rockets here. Let's lay that 3.5 and see if we have some of that H-Town magic.
They've won 6 straight games. Still trail the Dubs for that 10 spot by 3 games. But again, they're making it interesting. They've won 6 straight. They have covered in 5 of the 6, including 2 of those games, or 3 of those games, rather, as an underdog. Over in 5 of the last 7 for Houston. As we wrap things up around the association, we go to Dallas, where the Mavericks also playing really good basketball, laying 14 at home against a really banged-up Utah Jazz team. The over-under, 236. The Mavs actually under in 5 of 7, playing their best basketball. Totals working their way down, something to keep in mind.